hydrophobic impression materials. Hydrophobic are those impression materials which do not like the water. So these materials are difficult to pour. So examples are polysulfide, PVS material, which is called polyvinyl siloxane, and condensation reaction silicones are the hydrophobic. So uh, for so the material which are hydrophilic in nature, that likes the water, having the molecular contact angle is less. Okay, I will explain you how. You see in the first picture, this is hydrophilic group. Okay, in the first picture, this picture. Okay, in this picture you see the molecular contact angle is less than 90 degree for hydrophilic group. This is hydrophilic group. Okay, so the molecular contact angle is less than 90 degree. So these are readily wettable by gypsum products, so works in wet environment and easier to pour. Okay, so in the second picture, it's related to the hydrophobic group. So you see the molecular contact angle is greater than 90 degree. Okay, so these are resistance to wetting, repelled by hemorrhage or tissue fluids, and not readily wettable by gypsum products. These are difficult to pour. So hydrophilic group. So what are the examples of the material? Number one, hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids mean irreversible hydrocolloid alginate and reversible hydrocolloid agar agar, and polyether material. So these are the hydrophilic material, that water liking material, and the molecular contact angle for this group is less than 90 degree, and it works in wet environment and readily wettable by gypsum products and are easier to pour. So the second type is hydrophobic. The examples of material: polysulfide, condensation silicone or C silicone, and A silicone means additional silicone, and it is also called PVS, polyvinyl siloxane. So the molecular contact angle is greater than 90 degree. Okay, so it resistant to wetting and not readily wettable by gypsum products and are difficult to pour. So now comes viscosity. So I have told you that we compare the material in terms of two properties like wettability and viscosity. So now what is viscosity? The light body polysulfide and condensation silicone are least viscous, and heavy body polysulfide is most viscous. So one point to be remembered, that the material having less viscosity will we can get good impression details. Okay, it will help us to record the good impression details or surface details. So the light body polysulfide and condensation silicone are least viscous, and heavy body polysulfide is the most viscous. So the materials exhibit lower viscosity when the shear rate increases, which occurs when a material is expressed through a syringe, and this effect is called shear thinning. So the material that exhibit this property of becoming more fluid when the shear rate is increased by deforming or disturbing it, for example shaking, speculation, and injection through, and is desirable and is described as a thixotropic. So basically the thing is like, the material having less viscosity will we can get a good impression details, and material having high viscosity, so we cannot get the good surface details with that material. So now comes the reversible hydrocolloid. So reversible hydrocolloid is also called agar agar. So this material was first described by J.D. Hart. Okay, so now we discuss this material. This is also called agar agar material. So what is the setting process for this material? Reversible hydrocolloid is packed as a semi-solid gel in the polyethylene tubes. So it is liquefied in the hydrocolloid conditioner by placing it in the boiling water as a liquid solution at this temperature, and it is obviously too hot and intraoral use, so it is cooled in two stages: storage and tempering. So for this material, we need a special chamber or special conditioning unit. Okay, so that conditioning unit consisting of three chambers. This material is available in the semi solid gel. So there are three chambers of that conditioning unit. So in first chamber we will put the material which is available in the semi solid gel. Okay, and we allow the material to boil. Okay, at at a so the material becomes liquid, and then after 10 minutes we take out the material from that chamber and put it in the middle chamber, that is called storage chamber. So in storage chamber the temperature is 65 centigrade. Okay, so when we want to use, we will transfer this material into another third chamber, that is called tempering chamber. So tempering chamber temperature is 45 centigrade. So at that temperature we will load our tray. So in addition to lowering the temperature of the solution, tempering helps to increase the viscosity of the material in the tray, that is more easily managed. So after tray filled with the tempering solution and placed in the mouth, cool tap water is circulated through the double walled jacket of the tray and complete gelation process occurs. So for this material, we need two things. We need a special conditioning unit, and we also need the water cooled trays. So water cooled trays are those trays having minor tubules in it. Okay. So when we put the material in the tray and put this tray in the patient's mouth, then we allow the water to run into the minor tubules and cools the material. So what is the composition for this material? The hydrocolloid is approximately 85% water, and balance of this constituent is critical to the impression accuracy. The agar in the hydrocolloid is polysaccharide and a sulfuric ester of linear polymer of galactose, which is obtained from seaweed. So sodium tetraborate increases the strength of the gel and viscosity of the solution. So it can lose water by synthesis, water seeping from the surface and by evaporating, and it can be absorb water if placed in contact with it, that is called by imbibition. So the set gypsum is retarded by the contact with the any gel, and presence of borax tends to enhance the desirable features. The result could be soft surface on the cast poured in the impression. Therefore, the potassium sulfate is added to the hydrocolloid by the manufacturer to accelerate and hardens the stone when it is poured into the impression. So it also increases the rupture strength and improves plastic deformation properties of the hydrocolloid, and a bactericidal material like thymol is added into the material to reduce the bacterial growth. So the ideal conditioner unit having three chambers: liquefying bath, storage bath, liquefying bath, storage bath, and tempering bath. So I had told you that we need a special conditioning unit having three chambers. Okay, liquefying bath, storage bath, and tempering bath. So you see in this picture, this picture is the conditioning unit having three. This is one, this is two, and this is three. Okay, so there are three chambers. In first chamber, that is called liquefying bath. Okay, the second chamber is called storage bath, and chamber three is called liquefying tempering bath. Okay, so the temperature in the first chamber is 100 centigrade. Okay, so we put the material which is available in the tubules in the form of the semi solid type material. We put the tubules in the first chamber and allow the material to liquefy. Okay, in this first chamber the temperature is 100 centigrade. Okay, so after 10 minutes we transferred that tube which containing the material into the second chamber. So the temperature in second chamber is 65 centigrade, that is called storage chamber. The second chamber is called storage chamber. So after 10 minutes we will transfer the tubules into the third chamber which is called tempering chamber. So the temperature in the tempering chamber is 45 centigrade. Okay, so this is the process. So if we want to take impression, first of all we put the material in the liquefying bath. After 10 minutes we put the material in the storage bath at 65 centigrade, and after 10 minutes we put the material into the third chamber, which is called tempering chamber, and the temperature in the tempering chamber is 45 centigrade. Okay, why we not use the material after putting in first chamber? Because the temperature of material is 100 centigrade. If we take impression with that material, it can burn the oral tissues. Okay, at 100 centigrade is very much high temperature. Okay, so that is why we transfer it in second chamber having temperature 65 centigrade. Then we transfer the material in the third chamber. The temperature is 45 centigrade. So at that temperature 45 centigrade we load the tray. Okay, so what is the mouth temperature is 37. So we load our tray after the third chamber. Okay, having temperature 45 centigrade. Then we put it in patient's mouth. So for that need we use a special tray that is called water cooled trays. They are minor tubules in the trays. Okay, so in the mouth the temperature is 37 centigrade. Then at that temperature again it's set. Okay, so this is the procedure. So for this material we need special equipment like the conditioning chamber and water cooled trays. And this this is little bit difficult to use this material. So that is why we are not using this material in clinical practice, because it is time consuming, it is technique sensitive, and special equipments are needed. So again you see in the first picture, tubules and cartridges of hydrocolloid are placed in the liquefying bath for 10 minutes. Okay, this is the first chamber. Okay, then after 10 minutes we put the tubules in the second chamber, which is called the storage chamber. Okay, and then in the last we will put the in the third chamber. This is the tempering chamber. So basically there are the temperature differences in these chambers. So a technique combining reversible and irreversible hydrocolloid was described in 1951, and a modified reversible hydrocolloid that could bond to alginate and irreversible hydrocolloid was introduced in the late 1970s. So the system, also known as laminate technique, and has advantage of requiring less complicated and less expensive. So in this technique we will combine two materials like irreversible hydrocolloid and reversible hydrocolloid, means alginate material and the agar agar material. So that technique is called laminate technique. So the alginate in the tray mixed with water at 70 centigrade and cools the reversible hydrocolloid that has been injected into the prepared tooth and causing to solidify. This eliminate the need of water jacket trays and tubing. So the impression should be ready to remove from the mouth in 3 minutes, and which is faster and elastic in nature. So the principal disadvantage of combining this reversible and irreversible hydrocolloid is the fast gelation time of the syringe material, which requires impression to be handled very quickly. And again, this is technique sensitive. So that's why we are not using this impression technique or this impression to take impression, clinical impression in the patient's mouth nowadays. So this is the list for armamentarium used for this material, agar agar material. Like we need the hydrocolloid conditioning unit, we need hydrocolloid in polyethylene tube, we need hydrocolloid in plastic cartridges, non-aspirating anesthetic syringe, water-cooled rim lock, sectional impression trays, water-cooled rim lock, full arch impression trays, tacky stops, and the tubing for the trays. So these are the materials which we are using to take the impression. So now see in the first picture, a blunt needle is attached to the impression syringe. So in second picture, a cartridge of liquefied hydrocolloid is removed from the storage bath. In storage bath, the temperature is 65 centigrade. Okay. Then we put it into the tempering bath. The temperature is 45 centigrade. At that material, we load the our syringe with the material in the first picture. Then with this syringe, we will put some material into the prepared tooth directly into the mouth, as you see in this second picture. That picture is say hydrochloride is injected into the sulcus to obtain a good impression for the finish line. So for sometimes we not have a good stock tray available according to the patient's size. So what we can do, we can made a custom tray or special tray for that patient. Okay, all of you are familiar for that tray because in the previous level all of you have made that tray. So for that tray we are using the VLC material, visible light cure material. Okay, and the method, first of all we will apply spacer. On that spacer we will put the foil, aluminum foil. We will carve the tissue stops. Okay, and then we will apply the VLC material, which is called light visible light cure material, and then put it into the machine to set. So by this method we can make the custom tray or special tray for a patient if tray is not available for the patient size. So the tray preparation for autopolymerizing acrylic resin. We can also use autopolymerizing acrylic resin to make the custom tray. So the diagnostic cast is prepared with a wax spacer and a foil in the same manner as described for the VLC tray. So the resin is mixed in the wax paper cup and using one measure of the powder and one vial of the liquid. As soon as it's applicable, does not stick to the finger, acrylic resin is placed on the arch adapt over the foil covered wax. So then allow this material to set. By this method we make the custom tray for the patient if tray is not available according to the patient size. So in this picture the finished custom impression tray with the handle in front of wings on the side to the facilitate removal. So the tray should be prepared at least 6 hours in advance of making the impression. As the monomer undergoes polymerization, it shrinks, so the dough could shrink as much as 8% before curing is completed. So the significant linear changes occurs during the first 40 minutes of the fabrication of the tray, with some changes continuing to occur up to 6 hours. So an acceptable result can be obtained with the tray that is at least 40 minutes old if impression is poured quickly. So before taking the impression in the patient's mouth, first of all, we will apply the tray adhesive so that material will not dislodge from the tray. So what is dual arch impression? Basically, dual arch impression have the some significant advantages over conventional full arch impression technique. So this include the use of a one tray. In one tray, we can get the impression of the upper arch, we can get the impression of the lower arch, and in the same time, we can get the interocclusal relationship. Okay, so but for this impression we can only do the half arch. Okay, so it is only suitable if we want to make a single crown and patient is fully dentate. Okay, there are no missing teeth and there is no malocclusion. So there are certain criteria by which we are using this impression technique. This is called dual arch impression, and the tray which is using for this technique is called triple arch tray. So this type of impression tray produces extremely accurate occlusion in the resultant mounted cast. In addition, less impression material is needed. Okay, so this technique is best used for a patient with an intact, mutually protected Angus class 1 occlusion. So there will be no malocclusion, there is no missing teeth, and patient should be cooperative. Then we will use this technique. Okay, in this technique, there are benefit that we can take the impression of the upper arch, we can take the impression of the lower arch, we can take the interocclusal registration in one go. Okay, and we need little material for that purpose. So the restoration should be a single tooth and the intact adjacent and opposing teeth. They should We no arc of Clojure interference in the closure of maximum intercuspation. So as you see, the tray which is used, this is called the triple tray. So you see in the first picture, you see that this tray is used for taking the dual arch impression. So in this area, we will take the upper arch impression, in this area lower arch impression, and there is a thin layer in which we can get the interocclusal relationship. So first of all, we will apply the tray adhesive to the tray, okay, and then we load the material in the tray as you see in this picture. After loading material in the upper side, in the lower side, you see in the second picture, material is loaded upper side and lower side, and then we will take impression. In third picture you see, but from this tray we can only get impression of the half arch, quadrant arch, okay. So there is a selection criteria for using this tray, that patient having class 1 occlusion, Engel's class 1 occlusion, there should be no malocclusion, patient should be cooperative, there is no missing tooth, and we want to take impression for a single crown, okay. So again, this picture after taking the impression, okay, and then it's very easy to articulate this directly into the articulator as you see in this picture. So there are a lot of benefit for this impression technique, but there are limitation to use this impression. So again, there is a picture of articulated cast in the neutral position. So now comes the polysulfide impression material. So when we're talking about the impression material, they are materials like called the uh, elastomeric impression materials or silicon rubber based impression material. So there are four types of silicon rubber based impression material. So the first one is polysulfide. So polysulfide is an elastomer that is also known as mercaptan thiacol or simply a rubber base. So the impression material is packed in two tubes, a base and accelerator. The base contains the liquid polysulfide polymer mixed with inert fillers. So the accelerator, which is usually lead dioxide mixed with a small amount of sulfur and oil, act as an oxidation initiator on thermal thiacol group on the polymer. So because of the hydrophobic nature, because this polysulfide is hydrophobic in nature. So what are hydrophobic materials? Basically, hydrophobic materials are the materials which are not water loving, okay, not water liking material, and the contact angle of these materials are greater than 90 degree. These are difficult to pour, okay. So polysulfide is one of them. So it is hydrophobic nature of this material. Special care must be taken to ensure that there is no moisture on the preparation when impression is made. So polysulfide is a unique among impression materials because it is radio opaque. If the fragment becomes entrapped in the gingival sulcus or in the tissue space beyond the rupture epithelial attachment, its exact location can be identified because it is radio opaque material. So what are the armamentarium needed for this material? When we want to take the impression from this material, the armamentarium needed like polysulfide impression kit, regular base and accelerator, polysulfide impression kit, light base and accelerator, adhesive, which is butyl rubber contents, two disposable mixing pads, two stiff spatulas, syringe with disposable tips, two gauze sponges, alcohol, and custom resin tray. So first of all, mix the material, two tubes. So in the first picture, as you see, the material is available in two tubes. So material with two tubes, we dispense the material will equal length. Then in the second picture, you see mix the material with the spatula. Okay. After mixing it spatula, take another paper and roll this material and make a cone for this material. Okay. So then we put the material in this cone paper and then again roll this and now we will inject this material into the we load this material into the disposable syringe. You see in the disposable syringe. So The material is now directly used, or we can also load the disposable syringe directly after mixing it. Okay. So the need of this disposable syringe, that we will apply material directly into the patient's mouth. As you see, with the help of the syringe, we will directly apply the material. In the first picture, you see directly apply the material in the patient's mouth, in the prepared to surfaces. Okay. In the second picture, you see, and then after that, load the tray with the same material and take the impression. So why we apply this material directly into the prepared to surfaces, to get a good finish line, to get a good surface details, okay, the area we have prepared. So thank you very much. We will continue our lecture in part 2, impressions part 2. So you are welcome to ask any question. You are welcome to ask any question. Okay, welcome all of you. Best of luck for your midterm exams.